mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington.
Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory in for #TheUWhat. It's Friday 6th. This is Africa 54.
Protests filled Khartoum streets again Thursday, demanding the ruling military junta hand power back to civilians. It's day number 4 in the U.S. House of Representatives' Republican attempts to elect a speaker after a historic 11 failed votes over 3 previous days, as VOA's Catherine Gibson reports. U.S.-based Ghanaian singer-musician Biko performs in our New York studio with VOA's Heather Maxwell as the MC. All this and much more on today's Africa 54.
Sudan's military leaders are taking stock of the country on Friday, one day after hundreds of protesters took to the streets of Khartoum, demanding the oust of Sudan's military rulers and rejecting a deal for the gradual transfer of power to civilian leaders. VOA's #TheUWhat has more.
Sudan has been in turmoil since an uprising overthrew its long-time autocratic ruler Omar al-Bashir in April 2019. His ouster was followed by a military coup in October 2021 that abruptly ended a previous democratic transition agreement with protest leaders. During the protest, demonstrators headed for the Republican Palace, the seat of the ruling military council, before being intercepted by security forces who fired tear gas and water at the crowd. The Resistance Committees, a grassroots group that has steadfastly rejected any negotiations with Sudan's military leaders, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, led the demonstrations. Khaled Soliman, a political activist, commented on the protests.
This march is a real and honest expression that the power is the people's power. Resources are the people's resources. The military needs to return to the barracks, and Janjaweed, also known as Rapid Support Forces, are to be disbanded, and there's no space for the military institution in power or the economy, and that all state issues have to be solved according to a new constitution with a new ideology that assigns the task and power for the military to protecting borders and the democratic system.
Although there were no confirmed reports of casualties during Thursday's protests, Othman Al-Hadi, a protester, says they will not waver.
We're out today to reinstate the civilian country, and we're calling very clearly for the military to return to the barracks and for Janjaweed to be disbanded.
The protest group called for both men who led last year's coup to be tried in court. Last month, the 2 military leaders signed a framework agreement with Sudan's main pro-democracy group, the Forces for the Declaration of Freedom and Change. But the agreement appeared to offer vague outlines on how the country will resume its road to democracy. #TheUWhat, VOA News, Washington.
United Nations intelligence analysts have spotted suspected movements by the M23 rebels in parts of eastern Congo from which they were meant to have withdrawn, and signs the group has seized ground in other areas. The findings show there is continued uncertainty about both the exact status of the conflict in North Kivu province and the situation in the Kibumba area, which the rebels were meant to have left as of December 23rd as part of a ceasefire brokered by East African regional leaders. In East Africa, Kenyan President William Ruto says his government will ramp up tax collection and cut borrowing as he vows that the East African country will not default on its debt. David Doyle reports.
Kenya will not default on its debt, its president has promised. In a wide-ranging interview with Kenyan media outlets on Wednesday, William Ruto also said the government plans to ramp up tax collection over the next 2 years. The East African country saw public debt surge during an infrastructure construction drive, including for roads and rail, under Ruto's predecessor, Uhuru Kenyatta. Last year, ratings agency Fitch warned that government debt levels and global interest rates were increasing the threat of credit rating downgrades in as many as 10 African countries. Kenya was identified as one of those most at risk. Since Ruto's government took over in September, it has pledged to curb expensive commercial borrowing in favour of cheaper sources like the World Bank. We have applied the brakes on more borrowing, Ruto said on Wednesday. He added that the government aimed to collect an extra 1 trillion shillings, or $8.1 billion in taxes over the next 2 years. The president also reiterated plans to cut 300 billion shillings, that's approaching $2.5 billion, in borrowing in the current fiscal year that runs until the end of June.
Well, David Doyle of Reuters filed that report. U.S. lawmakers are trying for a fourth consecutive day on Friday to elect a Speaker of the House of Representatives. A group of 20 conservatives are blocking Republican leader Kevin McCarthy's bid for the post. Congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson reports from Capitol Hill.
A group of conservative lawmakers standing firm.
Does it look like I'm ready to make a deal?
Despite overnight negotiations, they continued to deny Republican Kevin McCarthy the handful of votes needed to become Speaker in the very narrowly Republican-controlled U.S. House.
I think everybody in the conversation wants to find a solution.
But among conservative talk show hosts this week, Republicans face criticism for the delay.
The American people, they voted for governance. They voted for oversight. They voted for checks. They voted for balances. They didn't vote for Republicans to go to D.C. and waste time and bicker among themselves and grandstand.
And acknowledge conservatives' concerns about McCarthy.
McCarthy is not especially conservative. He's, in fact, ideologically agnostic. He's flexible. His real constituency is the lobbying community in Washington. So if you've got sincere political beliefs, that is infuriating to watch.
Republican Representative Byron Donalds garnered the most votes from the conservatives opposing McCarthy, who argued the delay was healthy for U.S. democracy.
It's not dysfunction, and it's not imperiling. What it is the exchange of ideas, an expression of support for people you want to be your leader in the next Congress.
Democrats remain united behind Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, even as their party falls just 6 votes short of the 218 needed to make him Speaker. He called on Republicans to end the stalemate.
My hope that today the House Republicans will stop the bickering, stop the backbiting, and stop the backstabbing of each other so we can have the back of the American people.
The U.S. House of Representatives cannot function, let alone swear new members into office, until a new Speaker is elected. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Washington.
Well, U.S. lawmakers are set to vote yet again on a possible deal that supporters of Kevin McCarthy hope will break that logjam. For more on the stalemate, viewers Ignatius Anno reports live from Capitol Hill. Hello, Ignatius. Now, many are wondering what more can McCarthy do to convince those of his opposers to come to his side and vote?
Hi, Vincent. So in about 30 minutes from now, the 12th round of voting will be underway at the U.S. Capitol. Kevin McCarthy a while ago said that it looks like they have what he calls a tentative offer. He also said that some progress has been made since yesterday. It's not something that has been firmed up yet, but he's hopeful that they will be able to reach a deal very soon. Since speaking to you yesterday, roughly 21 Republicans are still on their retrenched position as I speak to you. And you know, one of the key demands they are making is less spending for the government, including mistrust and really personality differences at this point, as well as calling for more powers for themselves and less powers for the Speaker. So Kevin McCarthy, as I speak to you, is optimistic that they will be able to strike that deal after coming out of a call, which he also thanked the representative of Texas for.
Very interesting drama of our time to watch. Now, today, January 6th, happens also to be the anniversary of the January insurrection on the Hill. From what you've observed, what's going on? How has it been marked?
Well, exactly 2 years ago, the Capitol was attacked by supporters of former President Donald Trump. The Attorney General, Merrick Garland, issued a statement on Wednesday, and one of the things he talked about is that it doesn't seem like all is over. They're still determined to ensure that those who stormed the Capitol on that particular day not only pay for their deeds, but such a thing does not happen in the United States again. He also mentioned that more than 95 defendants have been arrested. Almost 300 defendants have been charged with various offenses ranging from assault, resisting and impeding employees and public officers' role at the Congress as I speak. He did not mention what is going to happen as far as the recommendations that have been made by the January 6th committee that sat on that particular case is concerned. There's been no word on that at this point, but it's been a solemn, commemoration as I speak to you. We're also being told that at the White House, President Joe Biden will hold an event to mark the second anniversary of that insurrection at the East Room of the White House.
Rather interesting, actually, that this is happening and at the same time, the Republicans who have gained a majority in the House don't have a speaker, and therefore the House cannot deliberate or continue with its usual business.
That's absolutely true, Vincent. It's still a deadlock situation, a very historic one for that matter. In 1923, the voting went to the 9th round. We've passed the 11th round now, and we're heading for a 12th round, still with no end in sight as to what is going to happen, but with Kevin McCarthy hopeful that he'll be able to get the badly needed support from this 21 Republicans to finally get the position and get the people's business up and running.
Now, just almost on a personal note, have you heard from anybody, maybe people across the continent on your Twitter, maybe wondering what's this all about in the United States and how they're interpreting this on the continent?
Well, folks are actually looking at this with a lot of shock and surprise. For them, the United States is a beacon of democracy. It's a continent that folks in Africa look up to learn from. There are folks who travel, parliamentarians travel from the continent to this country to learn about the democracy. And so it's a bit of a shock and surprise. And Africans are really keenly looking at what's happening and how it will be panning out.
Well, Ignatius, thank you very much for your reporting. Viewers, Ignatius Anno reporting live from the Capitol Hill. Well, we're excited to hear what you think about Africa 54 and all our VOA Africa programs on our website at voaafrica.com. Don't miss them. Still to come, a live performance from New York by Ghanaian musician Biko. Don't go away.
"2022 was an emotional year for women worldwide. From the abortion debate sparked by the overturning of Roe v. Wade here in the United States, to more recently the Taliban suspending higher education for all female students in Afghanistan. We also have the splendid images from Qatar of Moroccan mothers dancing and celebrating their sons' victories as the Moroccan team advanced to the quarterfinals at the World Cup. What a year. On this week's episode, my co-host and I will be reviewing some of the biggest events that we covered last year. Be sure to join the conversation each week on Our Voices.
From around the world, let's go.
In other news, Kenyan gay rights activist Edwin Chiloba was found dead in a metal box discarded along a road in Uasin Gishu County in the western region of the country. The cause of death and motive of the killing are unknown. Despite getting increasing amounts of aid to the northern Tigray and Afar regions, the UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says malnutrition rates are still critical and high. And Chadian security forces say they have foiled an attempt by a group of army officers to destabilize the country and undermine constitutional order. The government says the plan was devised by a restricted group of 11 army officers. Now, tens of thousands of tech innovators and their fans are flocking to Las Vegas this week for the annual Consumer Electronics Show. Edina Michelle has some up and coming tech trends.
Robot dogs doing tricks by voice command, a motorized contraption to put on a shoe to go faster, and devices promising comfort in the metaverse. They are a few of the cutting-edge innovations at the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show.
Walk and say hi. Oh, la, 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 la. And go left now. And walk.
This super cute tiny dog is just a way to demonstrate the capabilities behind voice-activated AI technology.
We have built a voice AI which allow you to control any machines, any robots, any drones or computers in the world, just by using your voice.
More than 140 countries are represented at this year's show, which is the first full CES since the pandemic. 100,000 visitors are expected. Nearly half of the 3,200 exhibitors traveled here from outside the U.S., including some from Ukraine, but the show organizer banned Russian exhibitors. Gary Shapiro is the president and CEO of the Consumer Technology Association, which puts on CES. He spoke to the Associated Press.
We are not allowing Russian exhibitors at this show because of the Ukraine situation.
Being back in person is important, says Shapiro. Despite the world's reliance on technology, the pandemic proved that humans crave personal interaction. This year's CES's theme is sustainability.
So a lot of what you're seeing at this event are companies responding to societal needs and saying this is what we could do to make society better. The right to food, the right to clean air and clean water. These are things which technology can enhance.
Claire Peng of the Taiwanese company Aibel says her company's noise-canceling earbuds also use negative ions to combat viruses and air pollutants like pollen.
So it can protect users from both air pollutants and ambient noises.
Fans of the metaverse will not be disappointed with CES 2023. Despite tech layoffs this past year, virtual and augmented reality gadgets have a strong showing. Tokyo-based company Shiftall aims to make virtual reality more comfortable with a lightweight headset. Its Mute Talk, a soundproof Bluetooth microphone that prevents voice leakage, allows users to be loud in the metaverse while respecting those in the physical world.
Because the lightweight is very effective for the happy user because they are spending tons of the time in the metaverse.
Whether a consumer prefers physical or augmented reality, CES 2023 promises new technologies that are changing life. Tina Mitchell for VOA News, Las Vegas.
The Greek Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem, Theophilus III, arrived in Bethlehem on Friday, where he will celebrate Christmas according to the Eastern calendar by leading midnight mass at the Church of the Nativity. The Church of the Nativity is shared by various Eastern denominations, including the ancient Assyrian Church, the Greek Orthodox, Armenian, and the Coptic Church. Worshippers and pilgrims gathered outside the church, believed by Christians to be the birthplace of Jesus Christ, while enjoying marching bands and a festive atmosphere. Well, now for our entertainment, Heather Maxwell joins us live from New York with a special guest. Hello, Heather, you get to hang out with the coolest guys. What do you have?
Yes. Hi, Vincent. How are you? Yes, I have Biko here with me in the studio. He's going to play some of his music for us. But first, let's hear a little bit more about him. Hi, Biko. Welcome to
Heather.
Voice of America.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Yeah.
So first of all, what about your name, Biko?
So my dad, who is the perfect Pan-Africanist, he named me after the South African freedom fighter, Stephen Bantu Biko. And with time, people used to look for me on the internet and never found my name, Steve Biko, and I had to modify the K to a Q to fit me. So I defined Biko as a special child, which is in Ghana, Biko, which is like a peculiar child.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so how long have you been, well, where are you from originally, and then how long have you been here in New York?
I'm originally from Ghana, West Africa, and I've been in New York for about a year and 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing music?
Wow. I recorded my first song in 2009. I would say officially since 2015. That's when I was representing Ghana and Nigeria for the Project Fame West Africa. So after that, I decided that this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, or for the rest of my life.
Did you come to New York for that, to pursue your music specifically?
So first of all, I was invited to the States through music. It was a festival in New Jersey called Afrobeat Fest. And then I kept coming, and you know, over time it's been like between music, family, and just pushing myself out there in a larger population.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're here.
Thank you.
So what are you most excited about in your career right now?
For now, I just dropped a new song and a video which I co-directed and I styled, called Awula, and it's out on YouTube. So yeah, you can go check it out.
Yes.
BiQo Awula on YouTube.
It's a good song. I've played it on my radio show.
Thank you.
Speaking of good songs, what are you going to play for us now?
Today I'm going to do For You, which features Assy. And yeah, we can go into it.
Let's do it.
The sun goes down and I'm missing you. Don't too fast by the beach when I'm holding you. No fear no my fame, mama. No fear no my fame, mama. But no, I mean share. I mean sure, hey, I go there for you, there for you. Even when the sky's falling down, baby girl, I go stand by you, stand by you. Make you no doubts, girl, I go there for you, there for you. Even when the sky's falling down, baby girl, I go stand by you, stand by you. Make you no doubts, girl. So I tell my girl, say me that I'm wiggle day. Wish she see, I see, she they show me love every day. Coca, me do. On to south, so up in my side. Even though the boy no get carbon around where I see you say you naughty. Forget the guys where they come around with the money. How many times make I tell you say I be some different fella? What you didn't want to get, mommy. So there for you, there for you. You wanna join me with that? Let's go. So there for you, there for you. Stand by you, I go stand by you. Your turn.
Stand by you, stand by you.
Beautiful. That's it.
Oh, nice. That is just beautiful. I love that. What were you rapping in? What language?
Pidgin, and a little bit of Ga and Chi.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we still have a few more minutes, so do you have something else?
Yeah, this one is called Heaven Knows, which has a long story behind it, but I'm gonna keep it short and I'll go straight into Heaven Knows.
Okay.
See, I feel so blue when you're not around. I wish I met you way before now. I get high when I think about you, and I ain't coming down without you. Girl, you did bust my brain. I can paint a perfect picture if you let me, and I still be coming back, girl, when you hit me. I've been watching you crazy, and I think you should know I'm trying so hard, girl, I can leave you alone. 'Cause there's something about you cannot explain. And if you walk away right now, heaven knows it will rain. See, I just want you to let me be the one what you want. Can you snap with me? I just want you to let me be the one that you trust. If you trip and fall, you're falling in the right arms. Hey. And if it's morning and you call, girl, I will be right there. Girl, I swear you don't know what you do. Hey. Cause I just wrote a whole verse because of you. I've been watching you crazy and I think you should know. I'm trying so hard, girl, I can't leave you alone. Cause there's something about you cannot explain. And if you walk away right now, having no silver ring. Can I rap to you? Yes. Too. Hey, what's the point of freaking all this money if I ain't got you to hold me? Spend this money, huh? What's the point of driving all these cars if I ain't got you to hold me drive these cars, huh? I do this for my future wife, my kids, It's nice getting used to heads and heads, Gets lonely at the top if only I could spend more time with this fine wine than the cheap shots. Bar, the side of a single star, shining bright surrounded by night, that's who we are. I mean, I'm good by myself, but you make me better. Giving up all of my wealth for the 4-letter word. Now this hit sound upset, girl. I go all around the world for my first girl. She comes, she goes, so she comes. I've been watching you crazy and I think you should know. Trying so hard, girl, I can't leave you alone. Cause there's something about you cannot explain. And if you walk away right now, heaven knows it will rain. That's it.
Nice, very nice, very nice. So now you have an album coming, or is it out, or?
So for now, I'm putting together a new EP. That's gonna be my third EP. The first song was released in November. That's Awula, and hopefully we get the second song on that EP out this month. The EP talks about being out of a cycle, and this EP is called Out of the Loop. So I compiled all the songs that I was making whilst I wasn't actively pursuing music. I've been, you were
out of the loop.
Yeah, I was definitely out of the
music loop.
Out of just always being in the studio recording, and then you're on stage, and you get drained and you get tired of the same cycle, and you want to just take time out to experience life so you can talk about more, so yeah.
Great.
Expect Out of the Loop by Biko in a little bit.
BiQo. Biko.
Yeah, Biko Music.
All right. Thank you so much. I think we have a little bit of your music video that we can play.
Beautiful.
Let's see if we can roll that and watch a little bit of his song called Awula. All right, okay, I guess we don't have that video. So we're going to do one more. Just serenade everybody out Friday afternoon.